Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. You're here for a special ResortLoop.com. I'm very excited about this show. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar. This is episode 155, and we had alluded to 155 being a very special show.
Yes.
Before we get started, if I may, Tim.
Please, you have a big announcement.
Self-indulgence I must do here. I'd like to congratulate my daughter and the entire Lakeview girls golf team that placed second this year in all of the state of Ohio in Division II golf. They came out and shot an incredible round of golf. Only got beat because the other team shot a record round of golf in the state of Ohio, but they were hot on their heels the entire weekend, and so very proud of my daughter. Shot a best for her best round of golf ever. So congratulations to the Lakeview girls golf team.
Absolutely. That's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. And we've got a very special guest today. Tim,
yes.
Please do the introduction.
I would love to. This is a great friend of the show. He's been with us for quite a while now, and he's doing this is like the third or fourth show from Joffrey's Coffee, the Chief Operating Officer and Head Roastmaster, Chris deMezzo. Chris, thanks for joining us tonight.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Now,
how you doing, Chris?
Doing well.
You're tired. You've been a busy man.
Busy man, but that's okay. We just drink more coffee.
There you go. Before we get started, Tim, would you like to make the very special announcement since we have Chris on today?
Are we going to do that off the top?
Let's just put it out there.
Let's just say it. Okay. ResortLoop.com is now sponsored officially by Joffrey's Coffee and Teas.
Thank you, Chris. We really appreciate that. We will make you proud.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, no, just, big fans of what you do.
We're big fans of yours.
We're huge fans of you and what you do.
Before we get started on the Disney blends, since we're going to talk mostly about the Disney blends, Tim and I, we really want to congratulate you guys. You've had a fantastic year this year. You want to tell everybody what you guys won this year?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I've been living on coffee lately. We're very, very proud to announce that we actually won the Small Business of the Year award from the Tampa Chamber of Commerce.
Very nice.
Incredible.
Yes. So, and it's also next month we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. Which I've created a special 30th anniversary blend of coffee that I need to send you guys because it's phenomenal.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's 2 micro lot coffees. It's one of those things that it's going to be around for. Unfortunately, I'm hoping that, it's one of those catch-22s. It's one of those things where you'd like to have it for a whole year, but on the other hand, if it lasts a whole year, that means it wasn't all that popular. So it's one of those ones where I'm hoping, 6 months down the road, because when these beans are gone, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
That would mean if it sells out in 6 months, that means that it was very well received, which I really do think it will be because, sitting around the cupping table with my apprentice, Miguel, and we had these 2 coffees, both Indonesians, but from different ends of Indonesia. And we're sitting there cupping them, and we're like, darn, this one's got fruit notes that are over the top. And then, this one's got this syrupy, earthy. And, I had one of those epiphanies. I said, you know what? Let's put some of this in here with this and some of this one in here with this. And it was like, ooh, yeah, we're getting somewhere. And then, maybe it just needs a little bit more. And, you're doing it with your cupping spoon and, you're putting a spoon at a time. And, finally, it's like, after adding, 3 spoons of this, 2 spoons. Finally got to the point where, bam, that's it.
Wow.
We put in.
That's really. Yeah. Somebody better be writing this down, right?
Yeah. But I mean, the end result, and then, Miguel, who's, my protege, and he's doing a fantastic job, played with the roast profile and kept presenting me with, different things, which, I love to see. And he nailed it. One time a little bit dark, took some of the fruit out. The next time a little bit light, put a little bit too much. And then he honed in on it. And, now it is just like, it's phenomenal. As you'll see when I get some to you.
Awesome. These are the stories I like how these blends come about, like where the beans come from, how long do you roast it, what the altitude is. All this stuff is just amazing to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like an artist that's starting with a blank canvas, and then it's like Mother Nature gives you something to work with, and then it's over the years of experience. You begin to learn what to do to get to where you want to go. But remember, we're the students. Mother Nature controls. She's
right.
The teacher. We're always learning. We're always working with whatever tools that we're given, but knowing how to use the tools is very helpful.
Well, and like Tim has said in the past, people need to think of coffee almost like they think of wine, because the coffee beans that you're getting, like for your 30th anniversary blends, those are going to be limited because of what you're going after. Yeah.
Exactly. I bought everything that these 2 particular farms produced this year, which really is, I think one farm was 32 bags, and the other farm was maybe 28. So 32, that's only 4,200 pounds.
Wow.
Of coffee from that, one. So, let's just say you doubled it. You got 8,000 pounds of coffee, and that's it.
Wow.
When that's gone, that's gone.
Right. That flavor's going to no longer exist, right?
Exactly. You can try and get similar, but I mean, that will it ever be exactly the same? No, it'll still be good, but it'll never be exactly the same.
Right.
Now, can you tell us, I know that you only use the 100% Arabica beans, but you even go higher than that.
Oh, we used specialty grade. Everybody, you walk down the grocery aisle now, you see everybody's 100% Arabica. Arabica is the most quality. 75% of the coffee grown is Arabica, but out of that, only 10% really qualifies as specialty coffee. And that's the stuff that we're dealing in. So just because it's Arabica doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's from that species of coffee plant. It doesn't really designate any quality. When you get into and I always mispronounce it, the terroir and, the microclimates and all those other things that really dictate coffee's flavor, that's what makes, a specialty coffee special. Not just because you can have a great plant like the ones that are growing in my backyard here in Tampa. Guys, I haven't a bumper crop this year, but, last year Miguel and I tried it, and I just barely had enough to cup. And it wasn't all that great. This year I have a bumper crop, so I'm probably going to end up with maybe 1.5 pounds of actual coffee that we can roast.
Nice.
But because of the altitude and the climate and the hodgepodge of trees that I've been growing, I've brought back, I think I've got a Hawaiian, a Honduran, a Nicaraguan, and I think, where was the other one from? Possibly Panama.
Wow.
So they're going to be a mixture of...
It's a small world around your house of coffee.
All those beans. But because they're grown at sea level, 7 foot above sea level, I think that's my house in Tampa. In the 95-degree summer we had, I'm not expecting that quality to be all that great, even though it is Arabica.
Right.
Right. Now, Chris, you had mentioned grocery stores, and you guys are now you're in Publix grocery stores. I got to ask, because I know you're not going to send the coffee truck up our way. How I know you're in Publix, but how far out are you Publix wise? Just in the Tampa area, or most of Florida? Or
Publix now has, I think it's up to 1,400 stores.
Wow.
And I believe, I know they're in Alabama. I believe they are in Tennessee. I know they are now in South Carolina. I believe they ventured into southern North Carolina, and of course all throughout Georgia, Florida. So a little bit, a good little portion of the Southeast.
Oh, so you're all through the chain then?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
very nice.
Every store.
Very nice.
Wonderful. Tennessee's not too far, Tim. We could.
The Resort Loop road trip. But if we're going to go that far, we might as well just go down to Florida.
Well, we probably would end up just continuing down, yeah.
I say we just hit Tampa and have him roast us up something special.
There you go.
In a couple of months, that'd probably be a good trip for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, it will.
We'll escape the white stuff.
Well, and speak
a little taste of it.
Yeah. Speaking of travel, you have been doing quite a bit of traveling yourself. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your northeastern United States travels there?
Yes. We've been doing some work for the Navy, believe it or not. We've been fortunate enough to have an introduction, and we've got some coffee in the Norfolk Naval Station up in Rhode Island. In their officers candidate training school.
Ooh.
And
wow.
When you go up there, if you've ever seen that movie, An Officer and a Gentleman, that stuff is real.
Wow.
Wow.
And then from that, we had an introduction to an officer that was visiting that base from the submarine base in Groton, New London, Connecticut, and said, your coffee's fantastic. We'd like to put you on our submarines.
Oh, wow.
So my partner Greg and I took a drive down there and looked at now you guys are going to get a kick out of this. They invited us down to look at the actual submarines and take a tour so I could see what equipment I had to put down there to brew our coffee, correctly and make it easy for these gentlemen. And, they invited Greg and I, and we climbed down the hatch, and it's the first time I've ever done anything at all like this. And
that's cool.
I'm a tiny guy, and there's some big sailors that were down there. And, I mean, it's just, when you see it on TV, those submarines look so big. When you're actually in one, they're tiny.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, it was, So Chris is used to, when he does things, because he's old and he forgets a lot of things, I always take pictures. So I was take my phone out, and I start to take pictures of this coffee machine, and all of a sudden I'm getting tapped on the shoulder, and I turn around, and there's this big sailor officer, and he's like, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, well.
All right, so I'm just taking some pictures of the layout so I'll remember what it is when I need to come back. And he goes, son, you don't put that camera away and erase those pictures. There's two things are going to happen. I don't think you're going to like either one of them.
Oh, no. Let me show you the torpedo tube.
What's that, sir? He goes, well, one is you're going to go to federal prison.
Ooh.
And the other is I got to take you upstairs and shoot you.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Camera's going in my pocket.
That's right.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
Idea. You can't take pictures on a nuclear submarine. I now know that.
Oh.
Won't do that.
There clearly should have been a sign, I'll just say.
But God bless those guys. They spend 6, sometimes 9 months in those submarines underwater. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
That is incredible.
Well, I'm sure I speak for all of our I'm sure I speak for all of our military personnel. Thank you for, giving them some great coffee to drink at least while they're doing what they got to do for us.
That's it. God bless them.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome.
And then we had a visit last week. We were at the Naval Academy up in Annapolis presenting coffee. We didn't get the go-ahead yet. We're hopeful. But that was an amazing place to tour as well. 4,000 midshipmen file into this cafeteria that's the size of, I want to say 4 or 5 airplane hangars, if not larger.
Oh,
wow.
It's one of the biggest places I've ever seen, and it's like a well-oiled machine. 4,000 file in, 45 minutes later, 4,000 well-fed midshipmen file out. It's amazing.
Wow. That would have to be quite a daunting task to feed all those guys.
And something to see, the way that the staff operates. It's like a well-oiled machine, like they say, when it works.
Yeah. 3 times a day, 365 days a year. My goodness. Wow.
That is awesome.
Why don't we move on, since this is a Disney podcast? Why don't we start talking about it? Well, that's what the rumor is going around.
I know. I just love these stories, though. I could listen to them all day.
I know. But we got some really cool stuff to talk about with the now 19 Disney blends you guys have.
Chris, what have you been doing?
Running around making sure everybody's got what they need.
There you go. So we know that you had, what did you originally have? You had 7 blends? Was that what you had originally? The 7? Or
Flying Fish was the first, and then the California Grill, and then who came in after that? Probably Citricos, maybe. Then Marcusi, and then,
Had some Carthay in there?
Carthay's relatively new.
Oh, that was one I bought. I tell you, I love the Carthay Circle, by the way.
That was good, yeah.
Yes. When did that open? 3 years ago, maybe? 2-3 years ago?
A couple, yeah.
And believe it or not, now I just got a call from Be Our Guest. Their own blend. Captain's Grill inside the Yacht and Beach Club is interested in exploring their own blend. So now that they've got access to some really, really unique coffees, everybody kind of wants their own, which I think is a great thing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It sets each restaurant apart.
Now, will you be able to do? You're doing the parks. You've done some of the resorts and that. Will you be able to do a cruise line blend that you'll be able to offer out to people?
The cruise line is on a liquid coffee that we've developed for them.
So you really can't put it in a bean. You can't have it as
because of the logistics of working on the ships, and I mean. In the beginning, I went out to meet with them, and of course, I'm going out with my holier-than-thou coffee geek attitude. And after seeing what those cast members have to do and how they have to do it, I completely understood exactly what they were telling me. So I set to work on developing a liquid product for them. It was something new for us. And again, just like I was saying, you become the student all over again. You think you know a lot after all these years, and then you find out that you don't really know as much as you think you do. So it was, for me, it was learning, a whole new part of coffee that I had no experience in. My background sure helped a little bit, but, what works in a regular brewed coffee doesn't necessarily transpire over to a liquid product. So I've been, it's been a work in progress, and I'm happy to report that I am just about where I've got the product, just about where I'm going to say I'm very, very satisfied, and where, I could put a cup of this liquid down next to a cup of a brewed coffee, and, unless you were a real, real coffee lover, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart, which is, pretty darn good compared to from where I started at.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know just this past summer when we were on the Disney Dream, it was delicious then. So I can't even imagine.
And,
It was good.
Never happy. I'm always tweaking. I'm like, is it really the best it can be?
Right.
It's
Right.
like, I don't know if I'll ever can become 100% satisfied, but I just always want things to be the best they possibly can be. And because it was new, I always second guess myself. Just try this.
Very good. Now, you're on all the Disney cruise ships now, right?
I am still not yet set up on the Wonder.
Oh, what's wrong with them?
They're in Alaska.
Oh, well, that could be.
They're just on their way back from Alaska.
I don't blame you. You don't want to go there.
So once they get back in and settled, I believe we're scheduled, honestly, in mid-November.
Oh, okay.
Which is great because I get to start them with this new blend. So that'll be fantastic.
Well, I know Bob and I are both handy with a wrench, so if you need someone to go on the cruise to help,
That's right.
This
retro.
isn't like the Crystal Cruise. I actually have to work on this cruise.
That's all right.
The other one is a little bit more relaxed. On this cruise, I'm actually helping install and then setting up the actual machines and calibrating and all that. So there's actually some work on this. I still have fun, but I mean, this one is actually a working cruise.
Well, getting back to the Disney blends, what's your favorite one right now? Since you have 19 of them, what would you say your favorite is?
The new one that we've developed for Club 33 is pretty good.
Now, can we buy that one? Is that one available to purchase?
Yes, I believe it should be on the website. I believe.
I don't see it.
Terrible guys, I haven't seen our website. I can't tell you.
Well, it's not on there yet, I don't think.
Answer my emails, let alone. Napa Rose is another one.
That one looked good. That
All
one did
right.
look good. I looked at that one.
It's such an eclectic menu. Of course, you had to give them a very, very complex blend. And then there's one that is not out yet because it's so new. But those of you that are going to be lucky enough to be visiting Disney World over the holidays, you may or may not have heard Casinas on the boardwalk has been closed down, and right now it's currently under remodel. And they're going to be opening up a new Italian restaurant in that location called Trattoria El Forno. And what I've been able to do in working with their culinary design team is actually going to have an espresso menu where we're going to be you're going to have your choice of 3 different espressos from 3 different parts of Italy that are each unique in their own right. And also you're going to have a really, really good blend of coffee that'll be, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to name it yet, but the blend has been developed that you'll be able to serve either a regular drip coffee or you'll be able to have a press pot of it.
Oh, wow.
That's something I've wanted to do for a long time, is give people a choice of different espressos. Because just like, you mentioned the wine similarities. You've got reds, you've got cabs, you've got Merlots, and, each one is, it's a red, but each one has their own little nuances and differences.
Right.
Because, the Merlot naturally is a blend. The cabs can be blends. Well, the espresso's the same way. Some of them have, a little bit higher level of acidity. One that I'm really, really, really fond of is I've been able to take a honey processed coffee, which they leave the mucilage on when they're drying the coffee, and it gives it a really, really nice fruit, like an apricot melon finish to it. And by playing with the roast profile, Miguel and I have been able to get this espresso to retain that fruit note. So you're getting a shot of espresso that's got that nice intense flavor, but the delicious fruit finish to it.
Oh.
It's, and then, there's the typical Italian espresso that, if you were in a cafe over in Italy, it's that strong stout, got a little bit of a bite. No bitter, but a bite, which is, the standard. And then another one that is primarily made for what most Americans are going to do is have a cappuccino or a latte.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
You're gonna, 3 different espresso blends to choose from.
That sounds fantastic, and that's going to be when did you say that was going to open up again?
That one I probably didn't tell you, and I apologize. It's tentatively scheduled for December 19th.
Hey, it's coming up. It's coming up.
I know, but I might go down in November. That doesn't help me. I don't know. I'm still in negotiations as to whether we're going down. But.
Exactly.
You can do a sneak peek at one of our carts.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm actually doing little mini flights of them where you can have, a little sample of each.
I love that idea.
Yeah. Well, let me throw this out to you, Chris, because we've gotten this request from quite a few of our listeners.
Oh,
You can digest this a little bit. They would absolutely love a sample pack, a Christmas sample pack where you have like maybe 4 small, where they can make maybe just 1 pot of coffee or whatever of the Disney blends. They have been begging us for that. So we said the next time we talk to you, we're gonna mention it, so that whatever you do is up to you. A lot of folks are looking for. They'd love to just sample different blends that you guys got.
Huh.
Just an idea.
I will bring that up. That's not.
Just
I have
throwing
to
it
see how they would go about doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whole packaging thing and all that. Yeah.
Everything is possible.
There you go.
Now, I have to ask you another question. That this is coming from all our loopers out there. Bob and I each get requests, a couple times a week. Do you know, is Joffrey doing anything with a K-Cup? Chris, are you ever going to do a K-Cup?
I am extremely pleased to tell you the answer to that question is yes.
Yes!
Woohoo!
And guys, this has been a work, a project like I have never undertaken to get, number one, to find somebody to do it, number one. Number two, to get the right cup, the right amount of coffee, the right dosage, all those things. It's been about, I'm not kidding, I've been working on it for about 2 years. And I'm happy to say I am in the very final stages. I've got the manufacturer lined up. We're going to be roasting the coffee, sending the coffee up there to get put into the K-Cups. And the final testing will begin the beginning of November. And if everything works out, which I believe it should, all the big hurdles have been already taken care of. We should be able to have K-Cups available by the beginning of 2015.
Oh, incredible.
Fantastic.
No one's more happy than I that this project is done.
You're going to make a lot of people happy with that.
I think that's the number one question I get asked on our website as well. When are you going to do a cake? Believe me, I wish I could.
Well, I got it. Your coffee. You brought up the whole the espresso without the bitter taste, or the cappuccino without the bitter taste. And I have got to say, I've had how many, Tim? Like 6 different Joffrey's coffees now, I think, that I've sampled, or more, probably maybe 8. Not one has any type of bitter aftertaste. It is the smoothest coffee out there, and if you're going to put that into a K-Cup, that's even better, because every now and then you just want that quick cup of coffee. I know you, Chris, are anti-quick cup. You want that French press, which is the best way to go. I agree.
Hey, Chris, I got to tell you a story. You'll enjoy this. So I needed some K-Cups for work.
Oh,
so I bought the cheapest ones I could find.
No names.
No names. I'm not going to make any names. I made it, and it was terrible. It was awful. It was disgusting.
It was so bad he made me try.
I did. So I took one out and I brewed it for Bob. I said, "You got to try this. It's terrible." And then I threw the rest of them away because it was just that bad. But now we'll be getting Joffrey's.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like everything else, what goes in. People are, again, when you take a coffee and it's, to a layperson, you think, okay, well, you just take your regular coffee and put it in a cup and you're done, right? I'm like, I really wish it was that simple, but nothing is ever that simple.
No.
The same thing I found out with the liquid coffee. Oh, gee, well, if it tastes great this way, it's going to taste. Guess what, guys? That's not the way it works. You have to remember now that you've got the contact time is much different, less than when a regular drip coffee. So naturally, you have to assume, okay, well, what's going to change the finished product because that we're brewing it that way? And what that is locking yourself in a room for hours with thousands of cups and brewing it 100 different ways. You're playing with the grind, the grind particle size. You're playing with the roast profile. You're playing with the temperature of the water. You're playing with the dwell time or the contact time that the water and coffee are, and then you just keep fine-tuning until you get to the point where, okay, it's going to be X amount of grams at this particle size, at this amount temperature, at this, and then you get up, you end up with your final result.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, we are so grateful that you have the passion that you have.
Oh, my goodness.
For coffee, because it shows. It shows in your product. I'm sure Disney is thrilled that they have such a good partnership with you guys. We are certainly thrilled that we now have a partnership with you guys as well. And please tell me you're not ready to retire, and that's why you got Miguel apprenticing.
I was wondering.
I'm not ready to retire just yet.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Couple of points like this one, and we'll talk about it. But Miguel energizes me because he reminds me of me.
Oh, okay.
He's got that spark.
Excellent.
And also, one of the things I love about him is he'll I tell him something, and he's, I've had apprentices that, I tell them, this has to be roasted this way, and they're like, okay, and they go off and they do it, and they do it well, or, you need to use, X amount of pounds of A, X amount of pounds of B, X amount of pounds of C, and that'll give you this blend, and they're like, okay, and they go off and do it. With Miguel, you get the why.
All right.
Yeah.
Why do you want me to roast it this way? Okay, well, Miguel, I want you to roast it this way because this coffee has a good fruit note, and we want to keep that. Oh, okay. And he remembers that. And then next week, I'll come in from a road trip, and I'll go, hey, you got a second? I'm like, yeah, let's cup this. And I said, oh, what'd you do? He goes, well, remember that thing you did? Well, I tried it a couple of I think it's really good here. And I'm like, oh, my God. He's got it. And that kind of stuff energizes me. He's, I know that when I'm doing all this running around, I know that my shop is in good hands.
Wow. So a true lover and student of the art.
Yep.
That is good news.
Retire, he's going to carry on the mission. God bless him.
Excellent.
Let me ask you one thing. This is non-Disney, but it looks phenomenal. Your new quarterly coffee.
Oh, the Rwanda?
Yes.
Yeah.
You haven't had a chance to try that yet, have you? That's
No. I just saw it on the. We got an email a couple days ago about it.
Email, right? Yeah.
It sounds fantastic.
That's a good coffee. That I don't have the, and I'm not going to butcher the name of that poor co-op. But they did a phenomenal job. They had an issue with I think it was a broca, an insect problem a couple of years ago that almost wiped them out. And this is a comeback story where they came back and they came back strong. It's a success story of a co-op that banded together to help, one or two farms that weren't decimated. They shared the wealth and they, came back stronger as a team. And, anybody that's lucky enough to get by one of our carts and try this coffee will see what I'm talking about. It's phenomenal.
You're a big supporter of the family farms and the cooperatives, aren't you?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because it's banding together. Because there is strength in numbers, and nobody's left out. As long as you're committed to growing a good coffee, that's your membership. And if one farm is struggling, they'll help them. Because these poor guys, if one guy gets an insect or one guy gets a fungus, if he doesn't treat it, it's like a virus. It spreads to everybody else. Mm-hmm. So a whole region can get wiped out. So it's a good thing that these guys all pool their resources together. And if one guy doesn't have enough money for a fungicide, that's what the co-op does. It's like a credit union. It's going to help them make sure that that's taken care of, so that farm, whatever issue that farm's having, it doesn't spread to another farm.
Now, is that the same thing or similar to is it the coffee rust problem? Or is that something else?
The roya is the rust.
Okay.
And that's a fungus. And the broca is an insect.
Oh, okay, that's right. Insect, yes.
Or both of them are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that are not familiar, if anybody's not familiar with Joffrey's Coffee, you got to check them out. They're at www.joffreys.com, and then you can go to their menu and find the Disney blends for all you loopers out there. And don't forget, too, that Joffrey's offers some phenomenal teas as well. I have been drinking in the evening to mellow me out. I've been drinking the chamomile lemon tea. That is, it is delicious.
With your pinky out, we discussed before.
With my pinky out, we
Very
did
nice.
discuss that. So don't forget
how popular that tea is.
What's that?
I'm surprised how popular that tea is.
It is very good. I'm not surprised at all. It is delicious and it really does. It just is a nice way to end your day. When you're you don't necessarily want a cup of coffee to get you hyped up. I don't drink decaf. I'm not a decaf guy. But that chamomile lemon is great. So thank you for the tea as well.
You're very welcome. Yeah. And I'll leave you guys with a little bombshell.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I just found out yesterday, again, I'm getting, back in touch with my partner, our CEO, that Joffrey's will be opening up a specialty tea shop in the new Disney Springs location in downtown Disney.
Oh,
all right.
Nice.
Yep, we're going to be doing a specialty tea shop where I'm going to actually be blending teas on site.
Oh, fantastic.
I love it.
For a certain amount of the specialty teas, you come in, you're going to see, in the beginning, you're going to see me while I'm training my cast members, but actually make your tea for you on a few select teas. Of course, I can't do them all. But we're going to make the teas to order right there on the spot.
Awesome.
Incredible.
I know where I'll be.
Exactly. Road trip. Another road trip.
And that's scheduled tentatively, of course, to open April of 15.
Okay.
Wow. Now, you guys were, I got to ask this question. You guys were at Food and Wine as well with a coffee demonstration, weren't you?
Miguel had to take care of that for me this year. Yes, he did. I've done it for, I think, 14 years in a row.
Okay.
Wow, did he enjoy that?
He loved it. This is the first one, and then I spoke to him the second day. He goes, "Now I'm having fun." I said, "I told you." I said, "You do this all the time, filling in, and you know, you're just talking about coffee, just doing it in front of a few more people than you're normally used to. But
yeah.
You know, you get some really, really great crowds in there that, you know, really like to hear about what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And both love sharing that passion and sharing the knowledge.
I know we had some of our listeners attended the seminar, if you will. So yeah, it was awesome.
I've had followers that, you know, I see the same faces year after year. I couldn't believe it. I said, I didn't bore you the first time? You're actually back again?
No, I'm sure you didn't bore him.
Say, if I can, I mean, again, and this isn't blowing smoke or anything, but just, you know, your passion comes across, and you make it fun and interesting to learn about this stuff. Whereas if you just were just slapping it together, I don't know as you'd have the same response. So
yeah.
I think it comes across in what you're doing. So.
Yeah. Plus, I think consumers like to be educated on what they love, and if they love coffee, they want to know all about it.
Well, it really is a phenomenal. It's so many different things that go into it that, you know, I can't help getting excited when I speak about it, because, you know, I've been doing it 28 years. You know, I'm blessed because every morning I get to get up and do something I love. So how many people get to do that?
That's right. That's right. Well, Tim, I think that is all I have.
Excellent. Well, I don't think I can follow up with anything better than what we've already had. Chris, thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure. As a special commemorative celebration for our sponsorship of ResortLoop.com, we're pleased to offer you a 20% discount on our website. Just reference ResortLoop20.
Excellent.
Nice. Very
Thank
nice.
You, Chris.
Once again, thanks for the sponsorship opportunity. That is awesome.
Happy to be there.
Awesome.
Happy to do it.
Awesome. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter at ResortLoopTim. We have the new revised website. Take a look at it, ResortLoop.com.
And I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget Facebook.com/ResortLoop. We'll be giving any updates that we get from Chris and the rest of the crew over at Joffrey's on Facebook and Twitter and all those places. And where else can they listen, Tim?
You can always find us on the Stitcher with your Joffrey's coffee in hand. See how I did that?
Yeah, I did.
This has been the gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody. This episode of the ResortLoop.com podcast is brought to you by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's is proud to be the official specialty coffee of Disney. Enjoy drinks and pastries at Joffrey's kiosks throughout the park, and check out the Disney Specialty Coffee Collection only at Joffreys.com.